Hey guys, I want to bring a bit of information to you that I think may be useful. You know, when you see people show conversions, even myself, you see people that show the battery work, or the battery installation, battery wiring. You see a little bit about BMS work, not much. You see, a lot of stuff with motors, people making the motor spin and all. That's pretty cool. But one thing people don't cover much of, and that is the VCU, the vehicle control unit, and the software end. So I'm going to bring a little bit of software information to you. This here is the configuration of the VCU. So this VCU I got here is from Thunderstruck. All right. This is a pretty simple unit. It cost about $500. And Thunderstruck did pretty good because they took a lot of the guesswork out of the wiring of this. They pre-wired and labeled everything. All right, so like here, you see the throttle. You just plug it right up to the throttle. This is a Hall effect throttle. They got your CAN high and low labeled. Your 12 volt out. You got your contactor coil, pre-charge coil. Pre-charge coil here. It's all pretty much plug and play for the most part. But this is what I like about what they did. They even sent instructions on what their suggestions are for how to configure this VCU here. So there's nothing plugged up here, but just to show you the software part of what to do, just to kind of take a little guesswork out. This is what you're going to do. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to take the 12 volt positive and negative. I got it connected to a little 7 amp battery, all right? And then you're going to, once it's plugged up, once it's connected and you have power, you have a blinking light. First thing you're going to do is plug this. It comes with a jack. It's like an 1/8 millimeter jack, and the other end is USB. You're going to plug it to your computer, to your USB port. Now, once it's plugged up, generally you would go to Device Manager. And let's see here, Device Manager, EV, all right. And then once it's up here, you're gonna go to, ports, COM and LP. And if you see this right here, it says COM port 3, all right? So that means it's a serial port, communication port 3. Remember that number because what you're gonna do next, I don't have internet in here right now, I'm in the shop, but you're gonna go online and you're gonna go to putty.org, PUTTY.org. It's one of the first selections you're gonna see when you Google it. And then once you go to putty.org, you're gonna download the first option, okay? Once you download the first option, then you're gonna go to either 32 or 64 bit. And I did 64 because I've got a pretty extensive amount of memory in here, and it's a pretty nice processor. So if you got an older computer or not too much memory or not too much RAM, you might want to use a 32-bit. But either way, it doesn't take hardly any memory or time to download. Once you download putty.org, right, you're gonna configure it so that you can go to your start menu. I told mine to go to start. To initiate from the start menu. So you go to start, type PU for Putty. There it is right there, the Putty app. Hit enter. And then you're gonna go to this option of how are you communicating to whatever device you're doing. So remember mine's was serial port. So you're gonna go to serial port. And remember COM 3. So you're gonna go and change this to 3. And here's your options. Now you're in the screen to configure this VCU, to tell this thing how to operate. So if you look at this, it says, of course, inverter voltage too low. We don't have anything connected. That's why. Only thing is just a throttle. And if you look here, it says Hall effect. That's the type of throttle this is, a Hall effect. This is your guide for what they suggest that you do for configuring this thing here for your vehicle. Now, to get to the options menu to start configuring this thing, you're gonna type SHOWCONFIG, show config, enter. And here you go. Here are your options for configuring. This is where you set your parameters. Your max, your minimal throttle, your min throttle, your minimum throttle, or at what point does your throttle cut off, your throttle max voltage, because this is a 0 to 5 volt throttle. things like your brake regen, your Newton meters, how much force you feel, how hard it slows you down when you let off the throttle, which also determines how much energy you're putting back in the batteries. Inverter type, UQM, you can go and change that because this here operates UQM, Leaf, and Coda. So there's 3 different types of inverters that this is compatible with. So that's something to keep in mind. So if you're going to use a Leaf inverter or a Leaf motor, if you're going to use a UQM, any UQM, this is your VCU. Now what this does basically is tell, if you look at all of these, all of your like your torque, RPM, all of these different values, this basically is how you're going to, how hard or how soft, how much acceleration, how many RPMs your motor's going to spin up to. And generally when you do this, you're going to be in the vehicle actually driving. At first, I'm going to test it with the wheels off the ground. Then once I've got a solid feel of it, I know kind of what it'll do, it won't be herky or jerky, and I want to change some values like throw more power to it, take less power from it, or to take power from it, feel how hard it regenerates when I let off the throttle. That stuff you could do while you're actually driving the vehicle. But right now, this is just to show you what you're going to do to configure. This is the part that you really don't get too much of, and I just wanted to put it out there so you guys can get some knowledge on this thing. So I hope this helps. All right.